Baby dough, baby cake. One of my favorite photos is this picture of Sir Michael Saylor. Sir Michael Saylor is a friend of Bitcoin. Sir Michael Saylor went turbo, giga, long Bitcoin, known for leveraging the top. There are more interesting things you can find out about his story, and everybody misses out about the most important part, because here is why you like, subscribe, bell button, and all. I call it the belly button. Thank you very much, friends. You see, it was all about the beginning. Everybody speaks about the leverage part, the top. But I like finding out what happened. What was the switch? And we already know this, but I'm going to go through it with you as well. Think about this part. Sir Michael Saylor heard about Bitcoin in 2013. Why didn't he buy? He thought it was a trash scam. We can go all the way back to 2013, friends. This is the Bitcoin chart. Maybe you've heard of it. I want to go all the way back. Let's go back. 2013. He heard about it here. He could have bought here. You gotta ask yourself why. He thought it wouldn't work. He didn't like it. This is the most interesting part. I believe the exact price from his tweet was about 800x to 400x, somewhere here in this zone. You can just take like a $400 round number, so it's around here. So he could have got anywhere here, but he didn't decide to do it. It's fantastic to see that we can actually map this out on a chart. And this is the interesting part. So this is where everybody glosses over. After he called it a scam, it went down. Mt. Gox Ponzi happened. Let's see what the actual measurement is. It goes all the way down, minus 86%. If you measure here, minus 86, 87%. This is confirming his belief that it's an absolute trash Ponzi scam and that crypto is not the future and blockchain is pathetic. He was wearing crumpled slippers back then, and his thesis got confirmed. Do you see why it's really important to stick to your guns? You really got to stick to your guns in this game. You need conviction. Because imagine you were holding Bitcoin here. This is why I don't judge anybody. We have open minds. We have open hearts. I want you to think about this, right? You are long from Bitcoin. You're long Bitcoin here. And then this guy comes in, Michael Saylor, and he says, Bitcoin is a scam, which is what he tweeted. Basically, he called it trash, not going to work. And then you watch it go down. And what happens is it goes down and this guy is feeling like a genius. He's like, you know. Now, of course, he did not go back and check. But you are in the game. You have to think of the worst case. The worst case is that you're in and everybody else is out. And they're laughing at you as it goes down. You know, so many people, they just judge, friends. They judge and judge and judge. But man, if we go to the linear chart, I want to show you what it actually looked like. This is what it looked like. All right, this is what it looked like. So Michael Saylor says it's trash, and this is what you actually have to sit through. You sat through something that just went absolutely kabooshed. And now you have to stick to your guns. You would have never imagined what happens 8 years later with the same guy who called this a piece of trash scam. So forget him for now. It doesn't matter what you knew about the future. Please hear my words. Listen to them again. It does not matter how sure of the future you were. It does not matter that Bitcoin, when it was $500 here, it does not matter that it was eventually going to go 100x higher to $50,000. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter that it was going to go 10x to $5,000, 40x to $20,000 in the next cycle. It didn't matter because you still had to sit through the pain. So even if you knew the future, if you had a crystal ball and you say, this is going to take over the world, this is going to go, we're going to spark up a whole industry over and over again, it didn't do you any justice here. You had to let time capitulate everybody. And you know, with this is how the stories get made. Because in this mess, Sir Michael Saylor, he says, haha, there are no cybernetic hornet's nests here. So there were no cybernetic hornet's nests, nothing. And he just turns away. So you want to look at this, right? This is a funny part. After he concludes it's worth nothing, in 2014, which is what I just showed you, it dropped, right? $1,000 all the way down to $200. Why didn't he get some? See, it's because, here's the thing. He came across an investment, not with the aspect of buy low, sell high, buy in the depression, sell the euphoria. He came from an engineering perspective. He is an engineer, you know that, right? So an engineer, a mathematical, a science approach is either true or false. It either works or it doesn't. The building is either standing or it's collapsing. That's it. There is nothing in between, and it can't change. This is why you got to be a bit of a peanut brain crazy person like me if you want to make it in this game. You got to have the fire. You got to resurrect the fire. You got to kindle it when no one else is there to kindle it for you. You have to be able to do it for yourself. Every day we strive to be faster, stronger, better. Because people like Michael Saylor see this and he's like, oh, well, this was a building. It is now collapsed. It can never rise again. That's it. That's all he sees. And funny enough, it did look like a Burj Khalifa building that collapsed too. So this game does not work in crypto. This game doesn't work in investing. That game works in the real world when it comes to gravity and other things that exist. This is a game. It's an evolving biological organism. There's people coming in, the meta changes, the rules of the games change. It does. It morphs over time. Players learn what used to work and then they apply it. And things can get saturated on one side. We know this time and time again. That's why you like, subscribe, press the belly button, and all friends. So Michael Saylor, even after seeing it go down, there was no price he would buy at. If you notice my language, I'll never say something is just complete trash. I will even tell you, I'd like to buy this coin at a certain price. And it might be disgusting to some people holding, but they might say, well, minus 95% will never happen. But hey, at least I have a buy area. Everything's got a buy area at some point. Not everything, but you get the point. Most things. There is a price you can get. Everything's worth something. It's just the price. But once you start getting into that mindset, you then have to admit that even the things you love the most have prices too expensive. There are things too expensive out there. There are prices too expensive. So once you start introducing this concept of relative valuations in your mind and how you think about it, it breaks a lot of paradigms because, it's hard because this is why they always say don't marry your bags, but this is why a lot of people, they treat their investments like their children, right? Like how high, if I gave you $1 billion, would you give away your children to slave labor? These questions, you don't like to think about them in your investments, but you get emotionally bonded to them. By the way, I've got to play devil's advocate on that because a lot of the paper hands, if they see some red weekly candles like this, they will then justify that they are no cope cucks. And because they are copers and their girlfriends are cheating with them with the whole neighborhood, they will then project it out to you. So because they are too scared to hold through anything that goes down, through any period of time, they will then say that you are marrying your bags. But these are just talking points. They have to cope with themselves. They have to tell themselves that what they're doing works. So don't let them fool you because they don't know what they're doing. I've seen this time and time and time again. People who don't know what they're doing, get out. People think if a red candle appears, they say, oh, holding doesn't work. See, told you. But you got to use this as fuel. When I hear this from people, I know, one, they've already signed their death warrant, and number two, that the game is still easy. The last thing I want to hear from the copers, from the people who I know aren't going to make it, the last thing I want to hear is for them to say, I've transformed, this is it, buy and hold, I've got to get more. I don't want them to have this attitude at all. I want to see them like little fish where there's no more water left. They're just flapping around. We want to see them. That means we have a competitive edge. So Michael Saylor comes, he sees Bitcoin. He still doesn't want it, even at $200, right? Look when he wants it though. After it went up 100x higher to 20K, that's when he notices. So yeah, it goes from, think about this. This is when it starts. So it went down to $200 here, and then Bitcoin went to the famous $20,000. Wow, you know what I mean? Here you go, $20,000. Now he's going to notice you. Now he's going to pay attention. This is something to think about. Even somebody who goes turbo hard. This is why I put this picture up. And then here I even add, Sir Michael Saylor put in 2.8 billion with a B after it went up another 100x. So from that $200, goes up 100x. Now he's like, all right, time to throw in the billions. And here I have this beautiful, wonderful graphic with these pumpermental green dots, just for you to see, friends, because this is how we learn together. I want you to know these are his DCAs, okay? You can see him, bang, bang, DCA, yeah. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with them. A lot of people just give him poop because a lot of people, we live in this society of everything's going to happen in 15 seconds, which is fantastic because it actually makes the game easy. Because prices will disconnect way worse than they should on the downside, and they'll disconnect way worse than they should on the upside. This is what I want to see. This is what you want to see. Because instead of having a wait and see approach, when prices start moving up in crypto, people are never ever going to think that it's ever going to come down. So this is what we want. This is how crypto is going to remain volatile. Now, it won't remain as volatile in the past because liquidity is coming in, but hey, it's going to remain volatile enough for us to be worth keeping our little cute duck feet in the pond of crypto compared to stonks, compared to metals, compared to real estate. It's so lucrative here. The upside is too big. So all these buys, look when he starts noticing, man. This is after the 100x, after the 100x. So there's stories to learn here. Most of the bags we see, if they're around, they'll be much higher in the future. And people who we would have never imagined buying will probably start clipping in. Think about it. You would never have believed that Michael Saylor, if back then, even if you knew who he was, he's going to start leverage buying the top with billions of dollars. But of course, the most important part is for you to get there. Everybody is trying to make it to this Bitcoin time period of 14 years for it to become mature, respected, etc. That's what everybody's trying to do. You know what will be a great experiment? For us to look at XRP, because XRP is about 10 years old. And soon, when it hits year 12, year 13, if they're still around, it will be interesting to see how professional and respected and mature XRP looks like. Because right now, the XRP BTC has got a lot of catching up to do. That's XRP versus Bitcoin. But for now, this is truly the Bitcoin standard. But hey, you want to get in before the Sir Michael Saylors in your core altcoin bags. Before they get in, not after. We will always be friends. Kindness will save us. Like, subscribe, or button, or catch you in the next one.